Hello everybody and welcome to a new Civ 5 series. Looks like we got the Incas, so a quick overview both for my benefit as well as yours. Says units ignore terrain costs when moving onto tile with hills, so in other words they'll behave kind of like scouts. And this does count for civilians as well, so that's actually really handy. No maintenance cost for improvements in hills, half cost elsewhere. I'm pretty sure that's referring to road tiles. Now their unique unit is a slinger. It says right here it is in fact more fragile than an archer. However, if it's melee attacked, it might retreat. Um, I just plain view this as an inferior unit. In the later game, if you're getting into wars and stuff, the fact that your ranged units can maybe avoid getting hit by retreating is kind of nice, but by doing that, they yield the tile they were standing on, so you can't use them as blockers to protect your workers, stuff like that. So, to get around this, what will probably happen is if I build any archers, it won't be until after construction is researched, so we can build straight into composite bowmen, and then we never have to deal with that downgrade. And then their unique improvement is the terrace farm. It's built on hills, but unlike farms built on hills, you actually get more food based on. You get more food if it's adjacent to a mountain. So right here we have a hill adjacent to a mountain. It looks like if it wasn't for it being sheep, it would be to put a farm here would be two food and two production. Now keep in mind this is cumulative, so every single mountain adds one food to it, and of course if it's also on a river and you have civil service, that adds a food to it. So these tiles can get to be really ridiculous under the right circumstances. Okay, starting area. Mining is always a good way to get early luxuries. We got 2 wheat, so I'd probably go for granary right away. And I've never been a big fan of plantation luxuries. Cocoa and citrus are okay. Plains rivers, which are going to be really great later on. So this isn't a very Inca-esque capital, but that's okay. We'll work with what we got for the time being. Start with scout. Production focus, of course. End of the turn, it adds up the food. If a new citizen's born, it goes wherever this tells it to, and then it adds it. So whatever you do here besides food, you get bonus of by switching it to that production. In this case, production focus, and then manually assigning your tiles. I try to cover that every series, just so if it's somebody's first time. Anyways, I will go pottery first. Raging Barbarians is on, but not only is our archery unit crappy, but with 2 wheat and plains, we're not going to grow beyond 3 pop without a granary, so that's going to be pretty important. Now, normally turn 1, I move the warrior away from the city tile or the settler if I need to scout first. Here we got a hill on the way, but because we're Inca, and this would be a great way to demonstrate, 1, 2, we just walk over the hill as if it was nothing. So that actually is a very nice, unique ability. Whether it's, a worker here being able to step and start improving on the same turn, or, being able to hide behind hills and like hop up and attack, like all good stuff. Okay, so it looks like this one's going to get published. We found El Dorado on turn 1, and obviously we're the first to find it, so we get 500 gold. It just so happens that the cost of a settler is 500 gold. Now you can't buy it until we got 2 pops, so we can't do it right away, but we just got ourselves a free settler. And because it's a natural wonder, we did get the +1 happiness, so that'll help offset the happiness we lose from settling a second city so early. And I'm already seeing like copper, some bonus resources. This looks like river, so we'll hop up there. We might actually just settle this because it's right here. Obviously, we wouldn't want a city this early. We just can't sustain it. Happiness and all that stuff. So we would probably just like settle it and work the El Dorado, get the culture benefit. If we choose to open up tradition, we could go into legalism and then actually start growing it like a regular city. If we go into liberty, we can get up to collective rule, start developing it like it's a regular city. Or if we open honor, we can go into military caste and then develop it like it's a normal city. But in other words, let's use this culture boost to get our culture game going. If we're not going to... This actually frees us up to build a second scout. And then, of course, if I'm not building a monument, like, would I want to build one later? So... and then also with the rivers here, like up on this hill might be nice, but look at all these resources here. And if we did settle right where the warrior's standing, we're talking like third ring type stuff. So this is actually looking like a tradition city here. And same thing here, third ring sheep to go with the plains. I don't know. I used to consider myself more of a Liberty player. Obviously, the last series I enjoyed the honor tree a great deal. So it's actually been a while since I've played a tradition game. So maybe with all the things I've learned from the other trays and playthroughs, maybe this would be a good time to revisit tradition. But we'll see. You know, we got until 2-pop to kind of finalize that decision, but it's looking really nice. We did find a neighbor real early, and we can see her borders are right there. So, oh, another thing about tradition is look at these where the cities would be relative to one another. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1 city tile. So they mate real well for tradition as well. Having a good city here, a good city here, we kind of block her in, so it's a good thing we'll be getting that settler sooner rather than later. So normally I would build a monument here, but if we're going to be working El Dorado, we can skip that. El Dorado is actually worth more, obviously. Okay, another ruin. Always good. Because the first one sucked, the barbarian camps. Although it is kind of nice knowing that there's one here when we have the intentions of settling here. But even with raging... Oh, okay. So we'll be able to get this going a little sooner. We'll work the wheat tile, obviously, and flabam. Settler is purchased. Turn 6. Nice. Alright, so we don't see much about her city. Tile itself, I mean. He did kind of expose this worker. We had a couple warriors up here, though, so I'm not sure if that's such a good idea. I'm kind of bothered by this tundra. I don't like being on the edge or in the corner. But who knows if we do end up going tradition and we're actually in the corner. She tends to be a peaceful neighborhood, or neighbor, so I don't know, maybe that works out if we're stuck in the corner. As long as we can grab some land, right? Like if we do go tradition. Okay. So we'll just head over to the settle spot. Another ruins, so the scout can't be a perfect escort, but we are first to meet them. They didn't meet him first, so that's nice buff in gold. And with these hills here, we can escape to wherever we need. That's really handy. Ooh, look at this. If we hop up here... Oh, another ruin. Cool. Oh, there you go. That looks like our worker now. We gotta assume this is a city tile, so we will get bombarded. But that worker appears to be exposed. And we are about to drop a second city. So tech, I think mining is called for here. We'll have the worker, we'll have the thing. We need the happiness now. Normally I'd have the workers improve the wheat, you know, get this city off the ground. But since we are going to have a second city already... yeah, so mining there. Yeah, I mean, we don't see enough to know if settling on the hill is better because the instant production. Because if we're working this tile right away, the city's not going to be growing. And if it's on the hill, it can at least be producing something. Here, it's just going to be fairly worthless. It's just going to be producing the culture. But we can't see enough to know. I'll step up here just in case this is like an upgrade ruin.
Thou shalt not.
Okay, it's not. Well, this is actually good to see. I mean, jungle gems. Okay, so while it might be a little crowded, settling like right here, and obviously not on a river, so we would be limited in growth. But who knows, maybe there's like fish or something nearby. But even still, unique luxury. So, yeah. Okay, interesting suggestions. We don't have enough visibility to know if that's true. I just know I want to work the El Dorado right away. Basically, we're not treating this like a proper city because we're just going to work the El Dorado. It's going to be our monument, makeshift monument. It gives us the gold. The gold makes a settler. Settler makes a city. Works the El Dorado, basically. Until we get our culture game off the ground, and then obviously we can just grow the city normal because that would be around the time our happiness stabilizes and all that good stuff. Is my thought. So this is basically just going to be a land grab monument type scenario. Oh, whoops, I thought I passed the turn. I've noticed the button I have programmed on my mouse for enter has been less responsive lately, so sometimes I think I finished my turn and I didn't. So this is going to get us some visibility so we can actually go a little wide here as far as scouting goes. And there it is. That is our worker. Alright, so there's a warrior there, so we will get hit twice. Okay, another warrior. They can't both hit us and the bombard, so we're still only going to get hit twice, but that looks a little iffier than before, unfortunately. Granary is the name of the game here. I think it's totally called for. Okay, so yeah, that hurt. And the problem is if we back up here, we're on a hill 2 tiles away from their borders. They'll see us, they'll give chase, they'll end up here and here. And then because of zone of control, our best retreat would be here, which they can attack across there. Might not kill us, but what we're going to do, continue west, like at some point. Whereas if we come up here, one will hit us. They can still see us, so one will hit us, the other one will follow. But the moment we duck behind the hills, they can't see us. And the AI is such that it will not give chase. So I do think deliberately setting ourselves up for one more hit is better in the long run. Obviously we're on the hill, so there's the rough penalty. I'm pretty sure we'll be fine. As opposed to the alternative where we'd end up getting hit anyways, but you know. Since we are going wide, I want to step up on the hill here. Oh, see, this is exactly why I wanted to do this. Seeing that fish makes me feel a little bit better about this. And about tradition as an opener, because if we ever wanted to get to fish from here, we would need that kind of border growth. So here we go. Let's plop that down. There's horses here. So that's pretty good. We'll go to production focus, although this city's not going to grow. Anything we choose to produce is going to be extremely delayed just because the city's not going to be growing. I'm going to do warrior just because we are on raging barbarians and we know that there's a camp here and we already have one worker stolen. Yeah, this is unique luxury. So at some point we're going to want to get a worker over here to help with the happiness game. So just having this guy, someone around that can help do the blocking and whatnot. Yeah, see, alright, already we're getting some barbarians, so that's not fun. But that's part of the opening game, so we're up to 3. Oh no, this is bad. It might actually grow to the horses instead. Okay, we did survive that. Oops, fumbled the button. Let's see. Ooh. I don't like having Poland as a neighbor. He's volatile. And unfortunately, if we do settle here, we'll be heading right towards what I presume is his capital. Yeah, I'm going to show off here, because we're Incas. We'll have the worker actually cross the hill here. Oh, I totally missed that prompt to buff him, or promote him. Oh, okay, so now it's a spearman. Alright. Well, luckily they won't give chase over the hill because this actually slows my retreat, which is unfortunate because now it's going to take 2 turns to get over that river. Anyways, we come over here for the completeness. We know this is tundra. We knew this was coast, so we'll just, you know, I like to do eraser or like circular patterns of removing the cloud. In this case, it looks like we're just going to be scrubbing the western edge. Okay, so this is kind of Badlands coast. I mean deer fish, but all we can see is gold. So we need to consider that and continue our retreat. Alrighty. I mean, horses. Ooh, this is what I was just gonna say. Horses on the edge. Maybe we get. This guy might get in our way though. Okay, I won't be stealing it there. Oh, maybe they get distracted by this. We don't know that he's going for the wine. He might be going for the horses. Alright, regardless, this is the time to choose our policy opener. And I was reading a couple things on online, some Civ 5 resources, and I think I personally may have been sleeping on the tradition opener. The first video I ever actually released for Civ 5 was called something like Liberty versus Liberty. I basically played the same map twice, one going straight Liberty, one taking the tradition opener and then straight Liberty. And I found the closer was pretty comparable both ways, but with the tradition opener you have the border growth. So even if I select this now and I was to change my mind later, it would still be probably a decent thing. So I'm going to take the tradition opener. I think we'll go into legalism and then we can let up on El Dorado. So this will be interesting because I haven't played tradition in a very long time. Border growth in 1, and we don't have mining for 2. So let's at least put a turn in on the farm and see where the borders grow. Well, you know, as far as crossing the river, I'm at 11, and we might actually grow borders here. So if I was to heal right here, I would go up to 21, and then if I'm in borders healing 20 per turn, that would be even. I'd save myself a turn retreating, because we want to grow to the gold, but this could be like a booby price. And then, of course, if we do grow to the gold, he can actually take the turn to retreat, and he'll still need to be that extra 10. So it's not like healing there is a problem. Oh, well, now this is really going to help with the happiness game. Well, I would like to come through here just to complete the thing, but we already have a natural wonder, and this is Kalish. So just like over here, if we were to settle this and just work Kalish right away, and then get one with nature, our faith per turn would be 14 right out of the gate. So I think I'm going to go around Kalish to complete the scouting just to see, because based on what we can see, like the best Kalish settle we know of is right here, and that's a crappy city. I mean, yeah, deer and fish, but the luxury is duplicitous. You know, sheeps are out there. So let's keep on scouting and see if we can't find a better Kalish. And we got to try and figure out where it is we met Washington. I don't normally build 2 scouts right out of the gate, and I gotta say, just the amount of like land I'm covering, it's pretty refreshing. Okay, so deer, fish. This does look like border, so if I step up on the hill, I don't know that this is the end, but we should be able to get some good visibility and start cutting back. So that looks promising. Alright, we did in fact get the horses. That is unfortunate. It's also unfortunate that if we do settle Kalish, we're going to need to buy that tile. So for the time being, I think we need to continue working the gold here. Let me check. Does this speed up the granary at all? It doesn't. So yeah, let's just keep working the gold. Border growing 5. So yeah, that's tradition opener for you. And this guy's finished in 5. So that's a nice piece of timing. I will go ahead and take calendar next. Happiness is going to be okay, but we do need to be a little proactive. So this is... Oh, there's Washington. Okay. Look at his units, though. They're away from his city. This guy's here, but if we swooped in, we'd get bombarded, hit, probably. And then we should be able to skate, no problem. So I think it's worth it. I mean, this is the whole reason you build 2 scouts, right? To get more workers. Ooh. If he could zone of control us into oblivion, that's... Here's hoping. Oh, yes. Nice. Look at this. We get bombarded, we get hit, and we are out of there. Okay, 2 workers. So now I'm even more glad that I chose calendar. I mean, we could have the guy come down here, because copper would be in borders by then. But there is a camp here, and I can't stress enough, I don't want to treat this like a real city yet. It's actually a blight on our empire when you think about it, because our happiness is basically limiting the growth capacity in the capital. In fact, once we grow to fuller pop, we will be in stagnation. Or, no, maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself there. Crabs, there we go. Okay, so this would be an okay city. This counts as a mountain, and this is a hill. So we have a terrace farm here. We would grow into fish, crab, sheep. So, you know, 2 food, 2 hammer, 2 food, 2 hammer. With a granary, 3 food, 2 hammer, 3 food here. We get a lighthouse eventually. This hill here would, if we put a terrace farm on that, it would be what? 1 food, 2, 3, 4. I think 4 food, 2 hammers. If it wasn't for the fact that we had to buy Kalish, it might be worth buying that tile. Yeah. The only problem is the city itself is a little far away. And if we are working Kalish, like this city's got the bananas. Like once we decide to relax on that, it can grow and it'll be fine. This city, though, we want to hammer on Kalish indefinitely until we get a religion, you know, pagodas, yada yada. So I think I would want to send a food trade route here, which means we would have to have a unit stationed down here just for visibility to stop camps from spawning. So this is a huge investment. But on the other hand, the visibility it gets, because this looks like Coast 2, like it can kind of protect itself. So once it is established and we got that set up with a unit here, it would be nice and tucked away. And it would give us a free religion, essentially. I'm guessing, because the AI doesn't tend to go with one with nature. And even if it did on occasion do that, we've already landed 2 of these ourselves. So how many more could an AI have? I mean, don't get me wrong, I often choose one with nature for one. But like I said, oh, now that's really good, too, because like if we wanted to buy Kalish, I know mountains are considered to be expensive and natural wonders are considered to be expensive. So, yeah, that's money that we'll actually be able to afford the Kalish tile. Alright, now this is going to be a cool time to be an Incan, because check this out. We can come here, hill here, hill here, hill here, and then get started on the wheat. So that's what I'm going to do. The scout, on the other hand, how soon... Assuming we actually do go at least into legalism, we're going to get oligarchy next turn, which means if we, let's see, 1, 2, 3, yeah. If we stash him in here, we'll be saving him maintenance on him while we're healing. And then, of course, there is a barbarian camp here, so if any spawn, the bombard's going to be harder. So I think let's travel this way. We can hide behind these hills, get a little bit of extra visibility along the way. Kind of convenient, actually. I mean, I guess this is the good thing about seeing the barbarian runes, is that they're established. Like, I don't know how the behind the scenes work, but they're established, so we don't have to worry about new ones popping up. Okay, Goddess of Protection. Yeah, I noticed the AI does like that one a whole lot. Granary is finished. It's going to be 6 turns until we grow, so let's use that 6 turns to build a warrior. Because Raging Barbarians is on, and we're going for a long distance settle, and we found a camp here. Okay, so at least, I mean, obviously we can't scout through here, but at least we can see enough here that it looks like we're not going to be missing out on too much. And the camp is occupied by an archer, so maybe this warrior actually comes over here and takes it out. Now, obviously this camp's going to be throwing off some units in the meantime. Or a unit, perhaps. I don't know. I don't know the raid. I should look into that kind of stuff. Anyways, we'll continue to radar here. We got a nice hill spread here, so at least we'll have some visibility as we get this guy home and start improving our lands. So let's keep on scouting here. Looking good. One more heal. And we can come back over here. Oh, look at this. Okay, so that's why the tile came out here, because it's horses. But they've got horses here too. And then rough. And here's a nice little pocket. So we could actually hide right here, wait for 1 or even 2 workers to come out and snag them. So, rather than making peace, let's see if we can't get another worker. I like that idea. Okay, so we'll have him start heading down here. Between Panama City and this horse tile, a scout placed right about here could actually steal a worker here. So maybe he steals one here, scout grabs one here, grabs one from here. I don't know. We might be rolling in the workers here. And that's another reason why the whole tradition opener, some of the things I've read, like if you gobble up tiles quicker, not only is that more visibility and then reduced barbarians, which is nice, but you get to your second and third ring quicker, which means you have better choice of the citizens you do have, what tiles they're working. So yeah, I really do think I've been sleeping on the tradition opener based on what I've been reading. If we came here and there was like a barbarian in our way, we could retreat, but we don't see one now. I think I'm going to risk it. We'd probably be able to withstand one hit from anything anyways, so let us take a chance on that. Okay, I don't think he can see us from here, so if there are workers here, they're not going to retreat. Though they would if we were here and he was here. Let's see here. We got a worker finishing the farm. One turn until the gold. And since we're Inca, we could step, start a mine, and then step just like I pre-build the roads. We'll pre-build a mine here just because we won't be able to start on the gold till turns anyway. So 1-1. That is the power of the Incans. And we are going to exploit it to the fullest. There it is. Okay, so we'll tell it mine and then immediately cancel. That turn's entered in, but future turns will not be. So let's step out here. We're not actually seeing a worker, so we're going to sit tight for a second. Oh, that is good. Anytime you get a population rune, it always goes to the nearest city. So now the city that hasn't been growing can grow. The problem here is that this city's about to grow, and then we're going to be in stagnation, which actually isn't a bad thing here because we're going to want to build a settler next anyways. So rather than working this growth tile, which would have been an amazing thing to get this city off the road, let's stagnate here anyways so we don't tax the happiness even further, and we can get that warrior out just a tad sooner. I don't see any reason not to hug the coast. We're heading east, aiming mostly for Panama City. Get another worker. Maybe help out with Lisbon, I think, is their capital. Which is funny, because I just recently watched the series finale of The Mentalist, and I really enjoyed that show a great deal. Actually, you know what? Since we are going into unhappiness and building a settler, it might be a better use of this worker's time to get started on the horses. Because we'll be at 4 pops, so we'll work the grain tiles since food does contribute to settler hammers. And then obviously our next choice would be horses and the gold. So this way we will have maximum production for that. So let's retreat into the city. So we can make a little gold. We do want to continue to make as much gold as we can, not just because we want to buy a Kalish, but it might end up being that as we're trying to get the city off the ground, we might have to just buy the workboat to get those crabs to basically expedite, because this city is going to take a while to get its own, pay for its own happiness. Same thing if we manage to get a city up here, the fact that these are jungle diamonds, this city would take some time to pay for itself in terms of happiness. And just like with the crabs, we'd have to wait for the city to grow into those tiles. And since there's horses here, it probably wouldn't grow into them right away. So both of our expands are probably going to be late to paying for themselves happiness-wise. Luckily, between the two cities we do have, we've got 3 luxuries, so that gives us a small buffer, but with a granary here, that's going to be a thing. Okay, oh, look at that oligarchy bombard on the hill. Not bad. Okay, we'll expand our visibility ever so... Whoa. Trade route, eh? Okay, well, if we pass and it goes here, and we come here, it'll go here. We won't catch up to it in time. Look at this. Alright, so we actually need to hope that it's going this way. And with this spearman here, and he's got 2 workers, we might be able to take one. Back up, heal off. Obviously, this one's going to run away when it sees us here. But then when it comes back, we can take that one too and pillage the trade route and then make peace. Wow. Okay. So I actually hope it's going from Panama City back, just so it gets back sooner. In the meantime, the scout can like expand our visibility here while looking for a Panama City worker. It's possible it's here already. I think this is a little too soon on Immortal, but I don't know. So there's that. We will get bombarded. We will get hit once, but we're a spearman now, so if we handled it as a warrior, we're definitely going to be able to take it as a spearman. Okay. Off to a pretty fabulous start, I'd say. And this is the half-hour mark. It's been a long day for me, so I am going to end it here, but great start. One natural wonder we already own, and another one we'll probably get, and will give us a free religion essentially. So even if this ends up only being 3 city, you know, we can always grow this empire up to a certain point, start producing units and conquering if that's what we got to do. Not beyond that. I'd like to think I've had my cherry popped when it comes to domination, and if that's what it takes, that's what we will do. But that'll be it for this one. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope this series appears to be exciting thus far. I look forward to the possibilities, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.